Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. So in here, groups 3 and group 4 will reporting the esterification reaction. Here's our member. The first one is Adinda Zaskia. Second one is Aina Salsabila. The third is Mediana Ulfi. And the last is Nurjannah Hanum. The objective of our experiment today is to synthesize an ester from a carboxylic acid and alcohol. The basic theory. Ester account for the distinctive odors of many fruits. Many of ester account for the distinctive odors of many fruits. Many of these ester compounds have pleasant odors. You can synthesize an ester in the lab by heating a carboxylic acid in an alcohol solution containing a small amount of strong acid as a catalyst. So here is the equation of the esterification. So esterification is a chemical reaction in which two reactants, usually an alcohol and an acid or carboxylic acid, form an ester as a reaction product. The above reaction is esterification of carboxylic acid with alcohol. This esterification also called as Fisker esterification. It is a special type of esterification by refluxing a carboxylic acid and an alcohol in the presence of an acid catalyst. In here, we have the equipment and materials needed. We will elaborate about the materials first. The first one is there is acetic acid concentrated, the methanol and ethanol, the distilled water, concentrated sulfuric acid, sodium carbonate solution, and salicylic acid. While for the equipment, we have fire test tube rack, test tube holder, graduated cylinder, beakers for 100 milliliters, dropping pipette, thermometer, Bunsen burner, wire gauze, tripod, spatula, and watch glass. Before we go to the procedure, remember that concentrated sulfuric acid is used to catalyze the chemical reaction. It's strongly recommended that the teacher assist during this procedure. Second one is wear safety goggles in your laboratory use. The third is alcohols are flammable liquids. Do not dispense ethanol near an open flame. And the last is this chemical only according to direction. Never add water to concentrated sulfuric acid. Never add sulfuric acid to another concentrated acid or an alcohol. Remember this one. So we got next to the procedure.
Guys, this is the result for procedure B. There is fruity and flowery and a little bit minty odor for the product, and there is also just a thin layer of the ester. That's all.
So here is our observation result. The initial condition for procedure A, both acetic acid, sulfuric acid, and ethanol has the clear liquid, and the mixture of the procedure A is also produced a clear liquid, while in procedure B, the initial condition of salicylic acid has the solid white color and has vinegar odor. And for the ethanol and sulfuric acid, it had clear liquid color solution, and the mixture of them has clear liquid solution. And the final condition for procedure A, when it mixed in the beaker, it produces bubbles and it keeps bubbling though the layer has been exist. The layer of ester can be seen clearly, but it produces unpleasant odor that smells like glue. While for procedure B, when it mixed in the beaker, it produces some bubbles shortly after the test of mixture put in the beaker, but it doesn't keep bubbling. The layer of the ester, it doesn't clearly appear, but mixture produces pleasant odor, which smells like fruits at first and then turn into flowery odor and a bit minty. And we're gonna make sure about the most important subject concern of this experiment. The first, the concentrated sulfuric acid that used as a catalyst strongly need as teacher assistant during the procedure. Second, since alcohol is flammable, so don't dispense ethanol near the oven plant. It's also for methanol. The third, mix the chemical according to instruction. Don't add water to concentrated sulfuric acid. Fourth, acetic acid and sulfuric acid should place inside the fume hood. 5. Use gloves when take the acetic acid and sulfuric acid because it's corrosive. 6. When the sample starts boiling, directly take it out because it contains alcohol that's flammable and might explode. Next, for our discussion, acetic acid is carboxylic acid consisting of methyl group which attach to carboxylic functional group. while ethanol is also usually called as ethyl alcohol. It's volatile, flammable, colorless liquid with wine-like odor and pungent taste. The first product is produced from acetic acid and ethanol. The other produced from mixing those two compounds is a blue-like odor with a bit unpleasant odor. The second product is produced from salicylic acid and alcohol and ethanol specifically. The other produced from those compounds is a fruity odor that it turns into flowers-like odor with a bit of mint. Our syntax says that for procedure A, the odor that produced is smells like blue, while for the procedure B, the odor that produced is smells like fruit at first, then smells like flower with a bit mint odor. This is the general reaction. So the general equation for acid catalyzed formation of an ester from an alcohol and carboxylic acid is this one. So this is the carboxylic acid, the general formula of carboxylic acid, and this is the general formula for alcohol, and it will react and it will produce the ester and also water. Because this experiment we do the two procedure, then it means that we undergo two esterification process. The first one is this one, and the second one is this one. So for the first, there are acetic acid plus ethanol, acetic acid as carboxylic acid, and ethanol as an alcohol, with the sulfuric acid as catalyzed and produce the ethyl ethanoate as water. And for the procedure B, we have the salicylic acid as carboxylic acid and ethanol as alcohol, and it also uses sulfuric acid as a catalyst, and it produces the methyl dihydroxybenzoate plus water. And this is the chemical structure, the structural reaction for procedure A and procedure B. So concentrated sulfuric acid here plays role as the catalyst, as I already stated previously. It used to faster the reaction without disturbing the reaction equilibrium. It works to speed up the rate of the reaction while simultaneously acting as dehydrating agent. The hydronium ions are provided from sulfuric acid. It protonated the carbonyl oxygen and made the carbonyl carbon a better electrophile. Hence, the sulfuric acid is acting as catalyst for the reaction. It provides an alternate pathway that has lower activation energy. According to Le Chatelier principle, it states that if a stress such as a changing temperature, pressure, or concentration is inflicted on the equilibrium reaction, that the reaction will seek to restore the equilibrium. It is simply stated that do not add the water into the concentrated sulfuric acid, because sulfuric acid reacts violently with water and alcohol to release heat and form flammable hydrogen gases, which may create hazard explosion. So the reaction between the sulfuric acid and water will result in the exothermic reaction. And also according to Le Chatelier principles, or commonly named as equilibrium laws, are used to predict the effect of changes as stated previously. And if a system under equilibrium is subjected to a change in temperature, then the equilibrium shifts itself in such a way to undo or neutralize the effect of change. It causes the water to be kept free during the heating process. The added heat to the system favors the direction of the endothermic reaction, because this will act to reduce the amount of heat. And because the equilibrium conclusive in favor of production of additional ester is lowering the temperature. When the temperature of the system at equilibrium change, the equilibrium constant for the reaction change. Lowering the temperature in this process reduces the amount of energy present, favored the production of heat, and favored the formation of ester. The reaction shifts to the right to increase the stress, and it decreases the concentration of carboxylic acid and alcohol. And the most probable source of error that would lead to incorrect observation in this experiment is the usage of only one pipette to take all of the materials, and it might we might put it not fully clean so that some materials may mix with small amount. In conclusion, from all the procedure that has been done, we conclude that ester can be made by reacting the alcohol and carboxylic acid. However, different kind of carboxylic acid may produce different odor of ester. And here's for our references for this lab report. And thank you for your attention.